we discussed about main.tf file, right? Using main.tf file, how to create a resource, and variable.tf, everything. You already know about data source block, right? What is data source block? In your AWS account, there are some resources already available, and you wanted to use those values. You wanted to use those values inside your Terraform script. You want to read these values from the AWS cloud, and you wanted to use these values inside your Terraform script. At that time, what you're using? You're using something called as data source block. Okay. So now the next thing here is, see, this is where my Terraform, this is where my uh, AWS is there. And now what I'm doing, I'm creating some resources here. I'm creating some EC2 machine. I'm creating some S3 bucket. I'm creating some CloudWatch monitoring. I'm creating, but how I'm creating? I'm creating these resources manually. I'll go to AWS console. I'll click on launch instance. I'll provide some name. I'll select a Ubuntu ID. Then I'll select a key pair. I'll do it manually by myself. I'll not be using a Terraform. Okay. So now I'm creating some resources manually inside my AWS cloud. And now what I wanted to do, I wanted to bring these resources. Let's say I wanted to bring a EC2 machine, which is created manually under the provision of my Terraform. Okay. The resources which are created manually in AWS. Now I wanted to bring those resources under the provision of Terraform. Okay. I wanted to bring those resources under Terraform. Then what I can do is, we have something called as Terraform import. I hope everybody is clear. When you create some resources manually inside your AWS, then you wanted to bring those changes, bring those resources under the provision of Terraform. Under the provision of Terraform, at that time, what do you need to use? You need to use something called as Terraform import. When you will be using a data source block, there are some resources already available in your AWS cloud, and you wanted to read these values inside my Terraform script, just reading. Okay. Here I'm importing the resources. I'm bringing those changes into my AWS, sorry, into my Terraform tool. Okay. So this is the difference between your data source block and import block. Bringing changes which are created manually inside my AWS into my Terraform cloud or Terraform. Okay. So now Terraform cloud, how to do it? See, you just need to follow simple steps. What are those steps? First, first what I'll do, I'll go ahead and create one EC2 machine manually. Manually, I'll create one EC2 machine. Second, you need to create a configuration file. What is this configuration file? Same main.tf file with the same details. With same details. Whichever the AMI you are using for this EC2 machine creation, whichever the key you are using, whichever the EC2 machine server size, T2 micro, T2 nano you are using, with the same details, I'm going to create one. This one. What is this? Mm, configuration file. So now, first let us do this. First, go ahead and create a EC2 machine manually. So first, I'll create that. Okay. So just go ahead and click on launch instance. Oh, did I log in? Okay. CD Terraform. Okay. See now, I'm just creating one EC2 instance, launch instance, name, I'll call it as dummy. Okay. Then select Ubuntu, something based on your wish. T2 micro, select any key pair if you want. Just come down and create one EC2 instance. Just launching this EC2 instance. Okay. So now what I wanted to do, my manual creation of my instance is done. Now I wanted to bring this EC2 instance, which is created manually just now, under the provision of my Terraform. So how to do it? It's very simple. Just come back to your this one. First, what is that? Provider. Provider. Who is my provider? AWS is my provider. Everything is already configured, right? Access key, secret key, region. I'll not be doing that again. Resource. Resource. RESOU. Resource. What is my resource? In AWS instance. Instance. Okay. And what is the name? Same name you need to provide. Dummy. Same name I'm providing here. Right? Just wait. See, same name you need to provide here also. First, create a resource manual. Then come back and create one configuration file. Same file, main.tf file. Resource, AWS instance, dummy. And what is the AMI? My AMI is this one, right? Just copy paste this AMI ID. Ubuntu. This is the AMI ID. Right? Then what is the instance type? Instance type is equal to t2.micro. Okay. So then just close this. Simple. Just come back and copy paste the same thing into a server, Terraform server, vi main.tf. Okay. Insert, paste, save. Okay, I did not switch to sudo. 1 second. No, it will not save. Sudo su vi main.tf. Okay. Save this. Now what you need to do, what is the third step? You just need to execute this command. No Terraform apply, no Terraform plan, no validate, nothing is required. You just need to execute this import command. What is that? Terraform, Terraform, import, then resource type, resource type dot resource name. Then what is the ID of this? Whatever the ID that you get, right? See, you already know Terraform import resource type is. What is the resource type here? Here resource type is AWS underscore instance, right? Dot, what is the resource name? Resource name is my dummy. And what is the ID? From where you will get this ID? You just come to this EC2 machine here, whichever we created. Just click on this and you see here. Here is my ID, instance ID. Okay. So now let me go back and execute this Terraform, Terraform import resource type. What is my resource type? This is my resource type. What is this? AWS instance. dot, what is my resource name? Resource name is dummy, correct? And what is the ID? ID is this one. Just copy the ID. If it is a EC2 instance, just use ID. If it is S3 bucket, just use the name based on that resource, right? Just click on enter. Terraform. Oh, okay. Terraform. Just wait for a second. See what you can see here. It has successfully imported your AWS EC2 instance, which is created manually under the provision of your Terraform. See, import successful, import prepared. Okay, so this is how you can import the resources whichever created manually into your Terraform. Okay, first we saw how to create a first we have creating a EC2 instances or some other instances into my AWS cloud using your Terraform. Now what we are doing, if there are any resources which are already exist in my EC2, exist in my AWS, which are created manually, now we just learn how to import them under the provision of my Terraform. Both ways, forward and backward. Okay, so this is the other concept, Terraform import. Any doubts here from anyone? Otherwise, we'll move to next concept. Okay, so let's move to next concept. If there are no questions, just a second. Yes, sir, you can import any kind of service, anything, same process, nothing changes. First, create a manually. If it is already created, don't worry. Then create a configuration file similar to that, whatever the existing properties it has. See, name, ID, whatever the instance it is using, all those things. Then just come back, execute this Terraform, this one command, import command. Then that is under your Terraform provisioning. Okay. So the next thing here is, see, now so till now, we learned how to create a resources. It might be a EC2, it might be S3, it might be a IAM, it might be VPC, and so on, right? We'll be learning some other actual resources, how to create that. Now we are learning the concept. But just consider we learned how to create these resources using Terraform. So by using provider block, by using resource block, by using data source block, by using variables, types of variables, loops, right? By making use of all these concepts, we are creating the resources, right? Once the next part here is, once the resource is created, let's say now I'm creating one EC2 instance. I'm creating one EC2 instance using Terraform. Using Terraform, I'm creating one EC2 instance. Now, what I wanted to do on this EC2 machine, which is just created as, I wanted to perform some configuration activities. See, this is the EC2 machine. Just now I created using Terraform, and I wanted to do some configuration activity onto this machine which is just created. What do you mean by configuration activity here? The configuration activity is nothing but installing some software into this machine, or copy some file into this machine, or run some command, run some Linux command into this machine. These are my configuration activities I wanted to perform onto this machine. Okay. If you wanted to do these activities, usually what we do, see, we'll create this EC2 machine using Terraform. Once this EC2 machine is created, we'll manually log in. We'll manually log in to this machine using SSH-I, some command. Then we'll log into this machine. Then we'll execute sudo su apt install. Some apt install commands will run. You remember how to install a software in Linux, right? Sudo apt install nginx, sudo apt install your web servers, all those things. I think you remember that, right? So you just need to manually log in, execute this command, copy some file, create some file. Manually, you should be doing it, right? So now what I wanted to do was, I wanted to create a EC2 machine using a Terraform. Using a Terraform, I'll be creating EC2 machine. And once this machine is created, I wanted to configure this machine as well. How I should be configuring? I don't want to do this manually. I don't wanted to do this. I wanted to configure this machine in a automatically. I should configure this. Okay, this is my requirement. Now, I wanted to create a EC2 machine using Terraform, and to the machine just now which is created using Terraform, I wanted to configure automatically without manual intervention. Okay, so that is where a concept known as something called as provisioner comes into picture. Okay, so whenever any machine which is created using Terraform and you wanted to perform some configuration activities onto this machine without any manual intervention, during that time you need to go for a concept known as provisioners. Okay, so what are provisioners? Provisioners are used to perform actions or configuration actions after it has been created a resource. Used to perform actions or configuration actions after it has been created a resource. This is what the provisioner will do. Any questions around what is provisioner?
No, sir.
Just small things here you need to remember. The provisioner is nothing but it is a special block. Same, it's kind of another block, special block, where within the resource block. It's not a separate block, sir. It is the same block within your resource block. That is, if this is my resource block, this is my resource block. Under the resource block, it is kind of a provisioner. It is kind of a child block. Okay. See, just to, this is a child block and this is a parent block. Okay. Provisioner is a special block within the resource block. It is not a separate one. Please remember this. Okay. How to use this? We'll see in some time. This is the first point. You just need to remember 2 points here. One is it is used to configure the machines after its creation. Then it is a special block under a resource block. And it is a child block to the resource block. These are the 2 things you just need to remember. Okay. So in provisioners, we have three types of provisioners. Actually, four. We'll discuss three, then we'll come to fourth one. We have three types of provisioners. What are those provisioners? First one is local exec, EXEC, local exec provisioner. Second one is file provisioner. Third one is remote exec provisioner, remote exec, EXEC provisioner. In Terraform, we have three types of provisions: local exec, file provisioner, and remote exec provisioner. Okay, so let us discuss what each and every provisioner is meant for. The first provisioner is local provisioner, local exec provisioner. Very simple, sir. Very simple concept. No need to worry here. See, this is where this is one of the EC2 machine, right? And inside this EC2 machine, we have installed a Terraform. If you remember in the first or second class, we installed a Terraform into this machine and we started creating main.tf, variable.tf files into this machine, right? See, this is the one machine. Where is this? This machine, we installed a Terraform into this and we'll be working on this, right? Now, see, if my requirement is I wanted to run some commands, or perform some configuration activity on the machine. I wanted to run some command or perform some configuration activity or install some software into some machine where I wanted to install. Now, if my requirement is I wanted to do all these activities inside this machine, inside the machine where the Terraform is installed. Please remember this. My requirement is I wanted to run some command or perform some configuration activity where on the machine, where where I have installed my Terraform. Please remember this. I wanted to perform some configuration activity on the machine where I have installed my Terraform. Into this machine I wanted to perform. In that case, what you need to use? You need to use something called as local exec provisioner. Okay. If you wanted to run some command, do some configuration activity, all the installing, deleting, all this activity, but where you wanted to perform, I wanted to perform onto the machine where I have installed my Terraform. In that machine, I wanted to perform. Then which provisioner you need to use? You need to use local exec provisioner. Clear? Any doubts around this? Okay, so let us see how to do this manually. Okay, so first, where is this provider? So I'll just copy paste this. Where is this? 1 second. So I already told you it is going to be a, see, again same provider, and this is my resource block, and provisioner is going to be a child block of my resource block inside that. Okay, provisioner, 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 provisioner. And which provisioner I am discussing now? Local exec. Local exec name, then again open braces. Then now I wanted to run some command. Command. What is the command I wanted to run? let's say I wanted to run echo AWS some command, just a small echo printing the value. That's it. Instance dot dummy dot private IP. Nothing will be printed. Just the same line gets printed again. I think you know echo, right? And redirecting you to one of the files, private IP dot txt. Just a simple command I'm executing. Okay. So that's it. Just close this. See, for this block, I'm closing it here. For this block, I'm closing it here. Okay. So just that's it. Just copy this, come back. vi main.tf. I'll just delete everything from here. Insert, save, Terraform plan. See, want to change, then Terraform apply, hyphen auto. Okay, I should same resource we are creating, right? Again. Okay. First, let me delete that. Terraform destroy hyphen auto hyphen upload. First, let me delete this. Okay. So now let us create this Terraform apply hyphen auto hyphen approve. So now it is creating. Please observe here. Please observe here. Just wait. See, once the resource creation, EC2 machine creation is done, it is executing your local exec provisioner. Okay. So, and while executing, it has executed this, whatever the command we created, and it has redirected the output into this private IP.txt. But the point here is, where does this uh, Terraform executed? It has executed in the same machine where I have installed my Terraform. That is the meaning of your local exec provisioner. Okay. We can tell to Terraform to run some script or command locally in the Terraform machine itself while creating or destroying the resources. Where I have installed my Terraform, in that machine, if you wanted to run some commands, copy some files, some activities, then you'll be using this local exec provisioner. Okay. So if you just see here, see, it has created or executed this command and stored the output into this private IP.txt, where I have installed my Terraform into the same machine. It has created a resource. It has created a new resource. It has created new EC2 instance. But while executing this, it has executed in my local machine. Okay. I hope everybody is clear with this. Local exec provision. And the one more point you just need to remember here is, see, local exec provisioner local file provisioner or remote exec provisioner. These are the types of provisioner. And again, we segregate them into two types. One is creation time provisioner and other one is destroy time provisioner. We'll not segregate, but these are the two things you just need to remember. Anything. These provisioners you can execute during the creation time. By default, all the provisioners are creation time provisioners. Just now, if you see here, see, once first it will create a resource, then it is getting executed. This is a creation time provisioner. Okay, what is destroy time provisioner then? While destroying these resources, first remember, first in creation time provisioner, first resource gets created, then your provisioner is executed. In the same way, in destroy time provisioner, your provisioner gets executed first. Provisioner is executed first, and then it will destroy your resources. It is kind of ulta. How to make my resource, how to make my provisioner as a destroy time provisioner? How to make this? It's very simple. Just come back to your, what is that? This one. Just let me delete this. Okay. What do you just need to mention? Vi, just go back. Vi main.tf. Inside your provisioner, you just need to mention one more thing. That is when is equal to destroy. That's it. Okay. Just save this. Now what I'll do, I'll destroy the resources. Let's see the magic. Terraform destroy -- auto -upload. First, what should be executed? First, your provisioner. See, your provisioner should be executed. Then you should be destroying, right? Oh, still destroying. See, now it has executed your provisioner first, then it is destroying your resources. See, it has completed. So first it will execute the provisioner, that is destroy time provisioner, then it will delete your resources. Okay. So in provisioners, we have three types of provisioner: local exec, remote exec, and what is the other one? File provisioner. First, local exec provisioner. Why you're using? If you wanted to do some activity onto the machine where Terraform is installed, into that machine, if you wanted to do some activities, then you'll be using your local exec provisioner. Okay. And you can use this while creation time, or you can call this during your destroy time if you wanted to execute some commands during that time. Once the machine is created, you wanted to run some commands, you can call it as a creation time provisioner. And once the machine is destroying, during that time, if you wanted to, first you wanted to, when you will use this destroy time or creation time, once the machine is created or once the machine is getting deleted. Let's say there is a machine, there are some activity, there are some log files available inside my machine. Now my manager has told me to destroy this machine. If I destroy this machine, all the log files which are present in my EC2 machine all will gets deleted, right? So now what I wanted to do before destroying my machine, I wanted to take a backup of this log file. Take a backup of this log file. Then how you can do it? You just run a provisioner. Inside a provisioner, you run some command. What is that command? Copy. You know the command, right? Copy some log file to some other path or somewhere into my local machine, wherever you want. You copy that, then you destroy your resources. This is one of the use case. Okay. So in that time, you'll be using this creation time or destroy time provisions. First one is local. Any doubts around this?
No, sir.
Okay. See, you just no need to like unmute yourself and talk. It's fine if you're not feeling good. Just type it in the chat like okay or no, yes, something. Okay. Instead of that, I can move forward, right? So yeah. So the next one here is the next provisioner we have as file provisioner. File provisioner. What is this file provisioner? See, now I'm creating one EC2 machine using some Terraform script. I'll create one EC2 machine. Add to this machine. Okay. See where I'm executing the script. It's okay. I'm creating some EC2 machine using some Terraform script. Once the EC2 machine is created, I wanted to, please remember this word, copy some files or folders. Copy some files or folders from my Terraform installed machine. From my Terraform machine. That is, see, here is my Terraform machine. Here is the new machine which is created using Terraform, and I wanted to copy some files from Terraform installed machine to newly created machine. Copy some files or directories. Then I need to use something called as file provisioner. That's it. Nothing special here. If you wanted to copy, only copy, sir, nothing else. Only copy some files or folders from my Terraform local machine to the newly created machine using Terraform. In that case, what I'll be using, I need to use something called as file provisioner. Here. So now, how to do this? Just a second. Just come back to the same script. Where is that script? Provider, echo, same script only, no? Right? See, you just need to come here, change it as a file. Let me copy this instead of creating a mess. Control C. Just local exec replace with file. Okay. And see, now this is where my Terraform is there. I'm executing this. There is some script inside my Terraform machine. When I execute this script inside my AWS console, what happens? A new machine gets created. This is done. Now, if I wanted to copy these files, then how you can do it, sir? How you can copy? What is the first step here before copying some files from my Terraform machine to the machine which is created using Terraform or inside which is newly created machine? If you first, you need to connect to the EC2 machine, right? How you connect? SSH -I my pem key dot pem key. Then you will be using Ubuntu some username and at the public IP address. Correct? What are the things you require? You require SSH. You require a pem key. You require a username Ubuntu, and you require a public IP address. These things are required in order to connect to this machine, right? Same thing you need to provide inside your Terraform also. How to provide? You need to create one more block here known as connection block with the same details. What is that connection? CONNECTI connection. What is the type? Type is SSH. Same thing, sir. SSH-I that we write, command we write, right? Same thing. Who is the user? My user is Ubuntu. And what is the private key? Private -key. What is the private key I'm using? See, while creating this, I'll use key name is I have a key, PEM key known as laptop. Laptop. This is the key. Same key I'll be using. And one more thing here you need to do that I'll show. Private key is equal to file. Just follow what I'm doing here. Okay. File. Why you should do this? I'll explain. Laptop dot pem. Close this. Then post. This is the important thing. Post is equal to self dot public IP. See, you already know if this is my main.tf file. Here you will be having, this is my one block and other block. This will be my second block. Let's just assume. If you wanted to read the values between the blocks, see, this is my first block and this is my second block. If you wanted to read the values between different blocks, then what you're using? Using something called as interpolation. What is this interpolation? Resource type dot resource name dot attribute value. AWS instance dot dummy dot public IP, something like that you are using, right? And now the scenario here is, see, this is the first scenario. Let me explain the second scenario. This is my main.tf file. Here is my resource block. Here is my resource block. Inside resource block, I have a child block known as provisioner blocks, right? Now what I wanted to do, I wanted to read the values inside my resource block. Here, outside the resource block, I am reading the values between the blocks. If you wanted to read the values inside the block, inside your resource block, then you need to use this keyword known as self. Okay. If you wanted to use the values between the blocks, then you will be using your interpolation concept. If you wanted to read the values inside a same block, inside a single block, then you will be using a keyword known as self. That is what I'm doing here. Let me delete this. See, let me zoom out. This block, this is a single resource block. There are no other blocks here, right? So now I wanted to read these values inside another block, inside a child block, inside my connection block, right? So if you wanted to connect, you need a public IP of this machine which is created. I wanted to read those public IP using a self keyword. Inside a same block, you are reading the value. Okay, so how to read that? You just need to use self.public IP. That's it. Clear? Any doubts still here from anyone? Why I am
Sir,
using? Yes, please.
sir, present మనం యూజ్ చేసే ఇన్స్టెన్స్ సేమ్ ఇన్స్టెన్స్ కదా సార్?
Which no. Now see, Now we are creating this EC2 machine. Once this EC2 machine is created, I'm configuring these values. I'm copying these values to this machine. You got my point?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
But access key and security key, I mean, both are different, sir.
What access key you're talking about?
సార్ ఏడబ్ల్యూఎస్ మనకి యాక్సెస్ కి ఉంటుంది కదా సార్ మనకి మెయిన్ గా.
Yes, yes.
అవి మనం ఇక్కడ ప్రొవైడ్ చేయట్లేదు. ఓన్లీ మనం ఎస్ఎస్ఎస్ అంటే పెమ్ కి మనం యాక్సెస్ చేయడానికి తీస్తున్నాం. బట్
Wait,
టూ
wait, wait.
ఇన్స్టెన్స్ కదా సార్.
See, access key and secret key is specified for a user, right? Now, those access key and secret key I'm using for the Terraform. If you see under this bash RC, vi, where's this slash dot bash RC? See, if you just come down, I've configured these values here. Access key, secret key, and these are the passwords for your Terraform to access your AWS cloud. If you see, right? But if you come back, just save this. Where is this? Here, what I'm doing, I'm creating a EC2 machine first. And to this EC2 machine, for the whatever the EC2 machine I just created, to this EC2 machine, what I wanted to do, I wanted to copy some files. I just changed this, don't worry. I wanted to copy some files. But before copying the files, I should log into that machine, correct? If I wanted to log into that machine, I need a SSH, who's the username, what is the PEM key to use, and what is the public key IP of that machine. All these details I want, right? So those details I'm providing inside my connection block. That's it. Got it?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah. Don't confuse between access key and secret key. That is different and this is different. Okay. And here you just need to copy some files, whatever the files you wanted to copy. That is, what is the source? SOURCE, source is equal to, I'll create one file known as terraform.txt, some file from my Terraform machine, where I wanted to copy destination. Destination is equal to, I'll copy under slash home Ubuntu. I'll copy this here under this path. See what is happening? First, I'll create a EC2 machine using Terraform. Once the EC2 machine is created, then I'm connecting to that machine. Once I connect it to that machine, what I'll do, I'll copy this terraform.txt file from my Terraform machine to the newly created machine under this path. That is the explanation about complete this script. Fine. Yes. And this PEM key must be available in your Terraform. What I mean that, just come back here. This is my PEM key, right? Just open, Control A, Control C, come back, create one PEM key here. That's it. ls, what is that? Touch, TOU, touch, laptop. Same name or different name, both are working. Laptop.pem and vi laptop.pem. You just copy here and save that file. Okay, ls, see my laptop pem key is available and I needed this Terraform file, right, in order to copy. I deleted that file. It's there. It's there. It's there. See, this file also I need. I'll just create this file here in my Terraform machine. I'll create cat terraform.txt file. What is the content of this file? Hi, hello, something. Then Control C, ls terraform.txt. Yeah, this file also created. Now, same thing, vi main.tf, just change the content here, copy paste the same content, delete. Okay, then Terraform apply -even auto -approve. Okay, just unclosed configuration where vi main.tf unclosed up. Where connection. Okay, provisioner is not closed here. Here I'm missing one braces. Okay, see now it has started creating your resource, and it will take some time for creating all this and copy. See now what happens. First, this is your AWS. First, it will create a EC2 machine. Then your Terraform machine will connect to this machine using your connection block, using SSH, username, password, all those things. Once it is connected, your provisioner blocks gets executed, and it will copy terraform.txt file from this machine to this machine under /home/ubuntu. This is what happens. Clear, guys? Any doubt here? Anyone? See, it will take some time. Don't worry. And once it is created, it will take some 2 to 3 minutes for doing all this activity. Once it is created, just log into this machine and see, just to verify it will work. No, nothing changes here. It will work. Just go back and see that. See now, till now, we have discussed. First one is local exec provisioner. Why are you using local exec provisioner? Simply, anyone would like to try?
To take backup of log files.
No. Like, why you're using local exec provisioner? Yeah, that is one use case. Exactly correct. But
సార్
why are you?
నాకు ఇంకో డౌట్ సార్ ఇక్కడ లోకల్ ఎగ్జిక్యూటివ్ లో ఏంటంటే ఇప్పుడు సార్ మనం లాగ్ ఫైల్స్ ఎప్పుడు కూడా మనం S3 బకెట్ తో కనెక్ట్ చేస్తాం అనమాట. ఎందుకంటే S3 వచ్చేసి మనకి ఆల్రెడీ వర్షన్ కంట్రోల్ కదా సార్.
Yes.
S3 ఆల్రెడీ మనకి వర్షన్ కంట్రోల్ ఆల్రెడీ బ్యాకప్ ఉంటుంది. బట్ మనం ఇప్పుడు రియల్ టైమ్ సినారియోలో ఇప్పుడు మన మేనేజర్ మీరు ఇందాక చెప్పిన ఎగ్జాంపుల్ లోనే ఇప్పుడు లాక్ ఫైల్ డిలీట్ చేయమంటే మనకి ఆల్రెడీ అక్కడ బ్యాకప్ అవైలబుల్ ఉంటుంది కదా సార్.
Wait there. Don't get confused. See, if this is your S3 bucket, what you will do, first let us take one server. Inside the C, what is the question is, we already have a logs file stored in my S3 bucket, and why we are taking a backup here again? This is the question. Okay, see, inside my server, my application is running, some website, some application is running, right? If this application is running, you will get two kinds of logs. Application logs is different and server logs is different. What are these server logs? Whichever the Nginx server you are installed, Tomcat server you installed, whatever the servers there, right? Those servers also generating some logs. See, you will not be storing directly these logs into your S3 bucket. First, what you will do, these logs will be running inside your server. And this server, you will take a backup of this server first. You will take a backup of this logs first. Then for analyzing purpose, for futuristic purpose, you will be storing the same logs into your S3 bucket. Directly, you will not store. Clear?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah. See, there are two kinds of logs always, application logs and server logs. These logs related to your application. Any issues, you can just go and see this application log. Server logs related to your Tomcat, Nginx, Ubuntu. Oh, sorry, what is that? What is the other web server? I forgot, sir. What is that? Tomcat, Nginx, JBoss, all these web servers. Those servers will be under this server logs. If any issue related to your server, then you just go back and check what happened with the server. Okay. So first one is local exec provisioner. Please remember, if you wanted to do some activities or run some command where inside a machine where my Terraform is installed, in that machine, then I'll be using local exec provisioner. Second one is file provisioner. What is the use of file provisioner? I wanted to copy some files from my local machine. This is my local machine and this is my remote machine, which is just created using Terraform. I wanted to copy some files from my local machine to my remote machine. Then I'll be using something called as file provisioner. The third provisioner we have is as remote exec provisioner. Remote exec provisioner. Now, please tell me, anyone, what does local exec provisioner do?
It will do some activity and run commands.
Where?
Where I installed.
Where we installed a Terraform, right?
Terraform, yes.
That is, if you want to run some commands, then you will be executing under the same Terraform where it is installed. Now, same thing, sir, exactly same thing. If you wanted to execute some commands or do some configuration activities into the machine, which is just created using Terraform. See, this is my Terraform machine. Using this machine, I've created another machine. This is my newly created machine, right? So if I wanted to run some commands inside a machine, which is just created using Terraform, this new machine I just created, I wanted to run some commands into this newly created machine. Then I'll be using something called as remote exec provisioner. Local exec provisioner, if I wanted to run some commands or do some configuration activities inside a machine where a Terraform is installed, in that machine, if you wanted to do, then we'll be using local exec provisioner. If you wanted to do the same thing, run some command, execute some commands into the machine which is created just now, into the remote machine you wanted to execute these commands. You wanted to do the same activities. Then you'll be using remote exec provisioner. This is into my local machine. This is into my remote machine. Both are same. Execute some commands, do some configuration here in my local machine, here in my what is that? Remote machine. That's it. What is file provisioner? If you wanted to copy some files from your local machine to remote machine, then you'll be using something called as file provisioner. That's it. Clear, guys? Any doubts? Hello?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So now, where is this? Just give me a second.
Sir, a small
yes,
doubt,
please.
sir.
Yes.
Sir, can we transfer a state file to one system to another system, sir?
Why you need to transfer?
సార్ ఎగ్జాక్ట్లీ ఇప్పుడు రిమోట్ ఎగ్జిట్ సర్వర్ లో మీరు ఇప్పుడు మనం ఒక టెరాఫార్మ్ సిస్టమ్ ఉంది కదా సార్, మనకు ఆల్రెడీ స్టేట్ ఫైల్ లోకల్లీ అవైలబుల్. సో మనం సేమ్
for that we already discussed remote state file storage into S3 bucket, right?
yes sir.
See, if you are storing the remote this, what is that, a state file into your S3 bucket, then why you need to copy the state file from one machine to another machine? It's not required.
Yeah.
You just need to download all your scripts, main.tf, variable.tf, backend.tf, output.tf. You just need to store it in the GitHub, and from there you just need to pull it to your local machine. Then you will be having your state file available in the S3 bucket.
సో మనం
Correct, right?
సేమ్ స్టేట్ ఫైల్ ని మనం మల్టిపుల్ మెషిన్స్ కి అప్లై చేయొచ్చు కదా సార్? అది అంటే అది
Ha ha ha.
ఇట్లా
Yes, yes, yes. No apply చేయొచ్చు, no issues on that. But what we usually do is, see, we create something called as modules. This is what the final concept that I'll discuss maybe tomorrow. Okay, whatever the concept we discussed, everything is file. The final concept is modules. Why are you using modules? See, now I'm creating one file. Once I created, what I'm doing, I'm deleting this. Again, I'm creating another file. Again, if I wanted to do other thing, again I'm deleting this. Again, I'm creating a new file. Again, if I wanted to do something new, again I wanted to delete, I need to create new file, right? Instead of doing that, we create something called as modules. What is the advantage of modules? You can reuse them whenever you want. What I'll do, I'll create one EC2 machine. Okay, I'll create one VPC. Done. I'll create one security group. Now, I'll not just create as a main.tf files. I'll create it as a modules, so that whenever you want, even after 1 year, you can just come and reuse them. Whenever you want, you can reuse the same files again and again. So for that reason, we'll be using something called as modules. Okay, so this we'll discuss in the upcoming classes. No issues on it. Okay, so now where I was, I forgot. Remote exec provisioner, same thing, sir. Nothing changes here. Where is this? See, the same. This is my file provisioner. Just copy this. 1 second. Okay, same thing. What is the things you need to change here? Instead of file, just mention it as remote -exec. Okay, and now what I wanted to do, I wanted to execute some command or do some activity, configuration activity onto that newly created machine, right? You just need to mention the command, whatever the command you need to execute. How will you execute that command? You need to include all the commands inside your inline. Inline is a function. Inside this, you just need to mention your commands. Echo, I'll call it as hello world or something. Hello world, and redirect this to hello.txt. That's it. You can just close this. If there are multiple commands you need to execute onto this machine, just comma, execute another command, close this. And if you wanted to execute another command, just comma, and within double quotes, you just need to write that, and which must be within the inline block, inline function. Okay, so that was the other thing. Just copy paste this and Control C. Just vi main.tf. vi main.tf. Delete this. Insert. Just same thing. Nothing changes here. Okay. Save. Vi. Okay. There is a timeout error. Okay. It's nothing but a timeout. Maximum of 5 minutes. See, once it is done creating, just go back and log into this machine. You will be able to see all these things. It's a simple thing. Nothing affects this. Nothing is affected by this error. It's fine. Okay. Terraform apply. -auto -approve. Oh, some error where expected a comma to mark the beginning of the next item. Where is this?
Double quote missing, sir.
Oh, yeah. Just, where it is missing? It's there, no? Echo. Hello. Okay, okay. I just use double quotes here. Single quote. Unclosed configuration block resource unclosed. vi main.tf. This is closed here.
Resources block.
Okay, provisional block is not closed. This block is not closed. See, this block is closing here. This is the opening and this is the closing. Connection block is open here and it is closed, and resource block is closed here and it is open here. Okay, it will be working now. See, first it will be destroying, then it will start creating the resources. Fine. See, just to repeat what it will do, sir. Anyone would like to try now after all these things? First, tell me, what does import do? What is the use of Terraform import?
It will help to import from AWS resources to Terraform.
See, you no need to like struggle to answer the questions in interview anyway. So whatever the things I just explained, just copy paste the same thing.
Okay.
I explained in a normal so not only for you, sir. It's not personally for you. Generally, I'm talking, telling to everybody. Okay. So what is Terraform import? If there are any resources which are created manually, I wanted to bring those resources under the provision of my Terraform. Then I'll be using something called as Terraform import. Simple. How will you use? What is the steps? What is the procedure for that? First, manually a resource must be existed. Then we need to create a same kind of configuration file for that, and then execute Terraform import resource type dot resource name, then whatever the ID which is present. This is the procedure for importing a resource which is created manually to under Terraform provisioning. Right? That's it. Done. What is the next concept? We have another concept known as provisioners. What do you mean by provisioners? See, if I wanted to do some configuration activities onto the machine, instead of that, you can also tell in this way. Usually what we do, we create a EC2 machines or any resources using Terraform. Once it is created, we need to manually log into these machines and do the configuration activities. So instead of following this procedure, I wanted to create an automation. I wanted to do this automatically using a Terraform. How will you do it? Using provisioners. Provisioners is a concept which helps us to do the configuration activities automatically when the resource has been created, after the resource creation. Okay, how will you do it? We'll do it using three different kinds of provisioners. First one is local provisioner. What is local provisioner? If you wanted to do some configuration activity, run some command inside a machine where my Terraform is installed, inside my local machine, then I'll be using some local exec provisioner. What is the remote exec provisioner? Same thing. Whatever you do in local exec provisioner, same thing in remote exec provisioner. Execute some command, do some configuration activities here in my local machine, here in my remote machine. That's it. Remote machine in the sense, the machine which is created just now using my Terraform script. Here you will do it in the local machine. Here you will do it in the remote machine. That's it. Right? And what is the third one, which is called as file provisioner? What is file provisioner? If you wanted to do some configuration activity, if you wanted to copy some files and folders, if you wanted to copy some files and folders from my Terraform machine to my newly created remote machine, copy the files, then I'll sing file provisioner. That's it. Right? These are the three different provisioners based on three different use cases. And use case also, right? Any doubts around this? And again, we have a creation time provisioner and destroy time provisioner. How when to use it, how to make it as a creation time, how to make it as a destroy time. You already know, I showed you, right? So I hope everybody got this. See, from now on, after today's class, everything is very simple. Okay. In Terraform, maximum we covered. From tomorrow onwards, we'll start seeing one more concept, last but not least, modules, very important. Once we're done with the concept of modules, we'll start creating a real-time resources. I will create some 10 real-time resources. How to create that, I'll show you. And what are the best practices and some advanced stuff I'll show, and we'll end this Terraform module. Okay. So any questions? There are no questions. We can wind up the session. Okay. So thank you. See you tomorrow.